And the talking watermelon. Early one morning, Anansi the spider awoke to the sound of Possum hopping his watermelon patch. Anansi perched down from the peach tree where he lived to watch Possum's slow progress. Anansi sipped light at the thought of a meal of watermelon, his favorite juicy red food. When Possum set his hoe aside the midday to take a nap, Anansi started down his tree for a snack. While Possum snored, Anansi slipped down his flying web to the richest watermelon in the garden. He picked up a small sharp stone to chew away the melon's grip. He made a hole that he could just squeeze into. He girded himself at the juicy slide down his 8 spider legs. Just then, Anansi about had his fill. He heard a prompter's throat. Possum will punish me. I am the discoverer, Anansi said to himself. He went to the hole in it, and one leg at a time. He tried to pull himself out. He was so swiftly he couldn't keep his footing. He burned himself against the end of the hole, but he was so full of fruit that he no longer fit. "Oh no, I'm stuck," he cried. "Now I have to wait until I shrink back to normal size." Anansi laid his head upon a watermelon seed and apartment to sleep. He tossed and turned restlessly. "This is so boring. What should I do while I wait?" As he pondered his next part, he heard Possum at the far end of the row. "I know, I'll trick Possum into thinking that is melon stalks." Possum came scratching with his hoe, and as he neared Anansi's melon, he heard a sound quite at a mouse. "Who is that?" he asked. "It is I, the watermelon," Anansi now yelled. "How urban watermelons can't talk," Possum said as he curled the melon to his ear. "Possum, you have never been a good listener. Watermelons have been talking since before you were born." Possum could not believe his ears and cried, "Eureka! I must show King Bear the discovery I had made." Off he went, carrying the watermelon, with Anansi bouncing to and fro inside. He met Raccoon rolling in the dirt beside the road. "What's hurry, Possum?" Raccoon asked. "I'm bringing King Bear a talking watermelon," Possum answered, very proud of himself. "No, I haven't heard anything," Raccoon laughed. "You haven't heard me talk," Anansi replied from inside the melon to Raccoon's smart remark. "Huh? What? Who said that?" asked Raccoon. "I did," said Anansi, really enjoying his trick. "You're silly, Raccoon, for not realize more than animals can House Patch. Watermelons are more intelligent than you. Do you believe me now? Asked Blossom. Yes, I do, Raccoon said. This is smart arc watermelon. It's something. Do you believe me now? Asked Blossom. Yes, I do, Raccoon said. This smart arc watermelon is something the king would want to see. Along the path to King Bear, Friend Dan, Blossom, and Raccoon came upon Gopher, Rat, and Squirrel. They each in turn laughing and pointed fingers until they heard the melon-strained little voice themselves. Before long, they all wanted to hear what King Bear would say about Earthly, so off they went. When they arrived, the king, a very grizzly-looking bear, had just woken from his afternoon slumber, was big grumpy. "What is it?" he groaned as the animals bowed before him. Blossom placed the watermelon on a tree stump before King Bear. What I to do with this?" the king asked. Continued before anyone had chance to answer. I do not eat any watermelon. I have eyes of my own. This one talks, they termed in unison. King Bear refused to believe he had subjects from a garden patch. He demanded that melons pay repast to him if the animals spoke the truth. Watermelons just sat there, mummed for the first time all day. "What kind joke of this?" the king grumbled. The melon remained silent. "I would be a fool to waste more time waiting to be your treasure strictly," he sneered at the frightened animals. "You would be a fool not to wait," whipped up Anansi from inside the melon. "Only a fool thinks watermelon can't talk." "Fool? Fool?" King Bear groaned. "How dare you call the king fool names?" And with that, King Bear picked up the melon in his paws and stroked it as hard as far as he could. The melon fell through the air and landed with a crash and a thud, sprawling wide open. Anansi was free. He scurried as fast as he could back to the peach tree where his morning started. "What a great day!" Anansi rejoined. "All of his fun had made me hungry again." He began nibbling in a large peach above Possum's patch. Possum returned later that day with a sound look on his face. He picked up his hoe and started digging furiously. "Melons," he cried. "Next year I will grow something else in this patch. You watermelons are nothing but trouble. Perhaps you should grow more peaches." And Nancy said with mouth full of fruity fruit, "The king is sure to listen to a peach." This is the end of the story. Goodbye.